And a big warm welcome to everyone. Al, thank you so much for being here with Australasia. We're very appreciative. And Al, I imagine that you've got a presentation prepared, or did you want me to ask you some questions?
Well, I have a couple of, we can go a couple of different ways. I do have a presentation that I used at the recent Hawaii summit, which I'll be glad to work through, or I would gladly, I love the interview style. I mean, you ask some really good questions, which kind of helps get the conversation going as well. So I'm comfortable either way.
Okay. Well, I'll ask you some questions then, and then if there's anything missing from your presentation from Hawaii, we don't want to leave anybody out for having access to that content. So I will let everybody, I know we have lots of new people partnering with Mannatech now. So many of us have known Al and love and respect him for years now. But for everybody's background, I'll just give you a little bit about his history and his career highlights. We're so lucky to have him. I'd also like to say Happy New Year to all of you. I acknowledge you for being here and for your commitment to Mannatech. It's 2018 and it's a brand new year for Mannatech. Lots have changed last year, and I think, we're showing everybody my little teacup here this morning. Okay, let's do this. This is our 2018 motto for our team. So it's Dana Hunter and Gary's and my extreme privilege to be with you here every Saturday. We really appreciate your participation and we acknowledge you for showing up. Al Bala is President and CEO of Mannatech, Inc. He's an exciting and passionate speaker. He's had 3 decades of experience in direct sales and network marketing, and he's traveled to over 60 countries, grown an organization to 750 million, and can converse in more than 13 languages. Al is one of a kind in his field. He believes that Mannatech offers you a simple, rewarding, and flexible business opportunity, and it is the way of the future, using technology that other businesses have not discovered yet. Al says after 27 years in the direct sales industry in North America and over 60 countries around the world, it is incredibly refreshing and a real privilege to be part of a company and a family of associates who really hold true to the mission of bringing the gift of wellness to the world with a heart and a strong sense of commitment. Al is truly an industry professional and champion. He's a multi-award winner. He will discuss questions today like let's finish up with 2017, what's up and coming in Mannatech. Is this worth it for you? Is it the right company for you to partner with? Can I be successful in this? And is this the right time? And find out why partnering with Mannatech is the right choice. The future is bright for us. And if you commit, you will be blessed. This is, for some of you, I know you're already hard off the jumping block here for 2018, but this is our first call. So for those of you who are just starting with your plans, I know that you'll hear something today that's going to inspire and support you in that. So Al, 2017, there was a lot of change for Mannatech, and we're coming out of that glowing on this side of things.
Well, first of all, thank you for this opportunity. I love the new format. It's so nice to be able to see people's faces instead of just being on some phone call 6,000 miles away. I think I'll say ditto in terms of Happy New Year to all of you. It's always exciting when you start a new year, even though we're in 19 or days into the new year. It still feels like a new year. We just came out of a summit in Hawaii. Literally, I didn't get home until about 2 days ago. Stopped over in LA for a CEO summit with the top CEOs of the industry for 3 days, and that was a great learning, enlightening times for me as a new CEO in this industry, and being around the giants of the industry, and then just got home a couple of days ago. So I still feel like I'm still in a new year mode. But for me, 2017 really is it's a process that really started in 2015. Late in 2015, Mannatech started a journey of transformation. If you guys all remember, and you saw the new all the new look of Mannatech, the new branding of Mannatech. Then we went into some new product lines like True Health, the coffee, the Gin Max, so Glyco Coffee, Gin Max, and then we went into a new Complan back in July. And in a few months, we're actually moving from our office in Coppell to a new office as well, which I think will round off this whole transformation process we've been going through, truly to become what I feel like would be a startup company, having the energy of a startup company, but the 24 years of experience and the foundation that we've built over the last almost 25 years. So we are entering into our 25th year, our quarter of a century, 25th anniversary of Mannatech, which is going to be very exciting. And we got some exciting things planned around the world to celebrate that 25th year in existence. And the fact that we are in a better place, I believe, after 25 years than we were when we first started. So truly the hope and the energy that is normally associated with a startup company is something that I feel we're going into again. It was certainly quite evident for those of you who followed us over the week that we were in Hawaii, that you could feel that excitement in our leaders, people that have been around a long time. It's so easy to get blasé after 24 years, but we could see a renewed hope, a renewed expectation for what's coming. So our best is yet ahead of us, but what we've already done is something we're certainly proud of. It's pretty significant, but what we're going to do over the next 25 years will be even more significant, I think, than anything we've done in our first 25 years. So for me, it's just not the end of 2017. It was the end of a process, a 2-year process, and really a new beginning. 2018 is truly a new beginning. And when we go into this new office, I think we would have done the full cycle of this transformation process that we've been in.
And Al, for those that are new to our profession, it's sort of a priceless asset to be partnering with a solid company of 25 years going into a new phase like you describe, isn't it? Because so many of them come in and leave very quickly. So it's like if you're going to commit your heart and soul in partnership with a company with ethics like Mannatech, that 25-year foundation is priceless.
I would say it is. Certainly, I get a chance to spend time with a lot of people in the industry, and you would imagine. And as you were speaking earlier during the introduction, I kind of wrote in here on my piece of paper why I came to Mannatech. That's the first thing that's what came to mind. Because the same reason I came to Mannatech after 28 years in the industry, now this is now my 11th year with Mannatech, those same reasons do apply for anybody who's with us. Maybe some people are with us for the first time. What are you looking for in a company? Well, first of all, in an industry like this industry, and I'll define that as the industry of wellness and the industry of social selling, or this whole new platform of peer-to-peer selling or peer-to-peer marketing. And being part of two elements that are truly exploding. Wellness, is an area, is a segment of the economy that is probably the fastest growing due to demographics, due to globalization, due to just the mere fact of more information being available for people to make good choices in wellness before it turns into sickness. Because, we do know that the sickness care industry is a $4 trillion industry, while the wellness industry is a $1 trillion industry. And watching this shift of the 1 trillion into more like a 4 trillion. So for me, wellness as an industry, wellness as a segment of the world's economy is a big deal, is a fast growing segment. It's a necessary segment, and one that if I was looking at it, with my entrepreneur hat in, I would want to be part of an industry that's growing, that's exploding, but also an industry that adds true value to the world. Because I do believe that everybody appreciates, what wellness is all about. Because wellness is not just the absence of sickness. Some people think it's either you're sick or you're well. No, but wellness is elevating your quality of life to a much higher level, which you don't even know what that level is until you get involved in wellness and all of a sudden watch your body react to those things and how you feel about life and how your mind works and how your energy is and how your mood and your temperament is all affected by this new state of wellness that you acquired that you may not even know that you've lost. We certainly live in a toxic world, in a stress world, and in a malnourished world. So those three things together, when you add, it's a perfect storm to really lower our quality of life. When you can get through all those things, when you find solution to those things, all of a sudden you're living life at a much higher level, which once you get there, you don't want to go backwards. It's not just, either you're sick or you're well. No, there is degrees of wellness. And I think what Mannatech is proposing is that through good supplementation and good, lifestyle of fat loss, a lifestyle of just taking care of yourself on a day-to-day basis through exercise, hydration, nutrition, supplementation, that you will live, that state of wellness at a much higher level than you were used to before. So for me, having answers, having solutions in that means we're bringing great value to the general population, to the world, and that for me is primordial to creating a good business opportunity. Because if your business opportunity is about making people's lives better, about transforming people's lives and adding more value to their lives, bingo, I think that's a good place to be. So then within that industry of wellness, you look at, so who are the people who are bringing solution to the marketplace? And that's where you find a Mannatech that's been around for 25 years, 132 patents, 17 clinical studies, and on and on and on, publicly traded. You go through all the things that we are, and 25 years, which means we have passed the test of time. We've gone through our ups and downs, we've gone through our crisis, but we've overcome in order to become this company. And when you can kind of make it a startup feeling within that, so the energy, the optimism, and the expectation of a brand new company with all that background, with all that track record already, I think that's a perfect opportunity, a perfect proposition that you can bring to other people, such as the people that may be on this call for the first time.
Mm. I look at it just like people. For anybody listening today, you've been through challenges in your life. And on the other side, you're a stronger person. And that, that's been my witnessing. I've been with Mannatech 20 years now. And that's what I witness. On the other side of every challenge we face and overcome together, we're right. A stronger and better company.
Totally. Everything you've gone through as a person and everything a company goes through as a company prepares you for that next level. Mm. I mean, there's no such next level without that. And that's why, I've been talking a lot about it, especially in the early days of a new year, where people are so quick to get rid of all the bad things that happened in 2017. Let's burn all those things so we can really move on to something new, something more hopeful. But why? Maybe you don't burn it. Maybe you examine it. Maybe you inspect it. Maybe you see, what did I learn through this process? The Japanese have a concept called Kaizen, continuous improvement. But in order to continually improve, you have to go back and look at all the things that went wrong, say, what did I learn from that? It's almost, they called rejects pearls, because those rejects, if you ask enough questions, will lead you to a root cause solution that then will make sure that from now on, everything is better. So the only chance we have of a better 2018 is being able to inspect what happened in 2017. Don't be so quick to throw it all out, burn it, whatever. Inspect it. Look at it. Appreciate it. It's a pearl. What wisdom, what lessons can you learn from those things? So this is a good time, I think, to become one of those inspectors and really truly find that the serendipity that exists in everything that's ever happened to you, and especially what happened to you in 2017, that are going to create a platform for great things in 2018.
Fantastic. And so I hope everybody really realizes how that is to have a company that's overcome certain, which every company does, and is here with that alignment and maturity to bring us all forward, to partner all forward. So I'm very excited about that. So Al, tell us about Hawaii.
Well, outside of just it's heaven on earth. It's the most beautiful place on earth. And the weather was just absolutely marvelous. I mean, we had rain before we got there, and then there was rain after we left. The whole time that we were there was just sunshine, balmy weather. I know that there's a few people on this call that actually were there with us. I think Anita Rabatka was there with us. She probably could say a lot about that part. But I think what was more significant was not what was going on the outside, what was going on the inside. First of all, our ability to recognize so many new platinums 1-star, platinums 2-star, platinums 3-star, realizing that just from July to December, we created more new platinums that we had qualified after 24 years. Just in the last 4 months, we've had that many new platinums, new gold presidentials, new silver presidentials, new presidentials. You know, when presidentials can only just walk on stage and say their names and where they're from, because we have too many of them, we can't recognize all of them. And I'm talking about new presidentials. That's a good place to be. You know, now obviously at Manifest, we'll be making a much bigger deal of it, but it was really interesting to me. And Kevin and I were looking at each other going, wow, this is really interesting. You know, we used to really be excited when there was 1 or 2 or 3 new presidential. Now we just don't even have time to recognize them all. For me, that meant a lot. It meant that there was a new hope. I talked a lot last year about the Roger Bannister moments, you know, where people can do the impossible and become hope for others to be able to dream, to do the same. And frankly, I felt like we had achieved that, just watching that many people come on stage and being recognized as new presidentials and new platinums, just a score of new platinums and from all over, from South Africa, from Korea, from Canada, from Hong Kong, China. There was just a lot of excitement around that, that kind of element of just, we call it ranking up. Just so many people ranking up was exciting. 2, I think we went out of our way to really truly honor and recognize some of our top achievers. We call it our Chairman Club members. So some of you may have seen some of the videos, but between the cars, and now we had to elevate the game because you didn't have just platinums, you had platinum 1-star and 2-star and 3-star. So we made sure that everybody had a different kind of car, and we made it bigger, better as we went. So we have a chance to really love on and honor and recognize these people who have really done significantly well in 2017. And then there was all the good news, all the things, the preview of coming attractions, whether it's a new comp plan, I mean comp plan phase 2, new products. We have a new Amber Toast product that we're going to be launching that I believe is going to be the most significant launch that we've had in 24 years. since we launched Ambertos. And then having also a new energy product that the presidentials got the chance to sample and see and touch and feel. And so we know we're setting it up for an amazing manifest where these things will be launched officially. And then it's just the camaraderie and the feeling of this is the moment. As I asked many people after the events, what was really the thing that impressed them the most outside of just the physical stuff, it was the more, I would almost call it spiritual stuff, which is that sense that something big is about to happen, that we're really achieving that tipping point, and we feel like, you know, the future is definitely bright. And you know, it was almost universal across the board. It transcended languages, and you know, you could just sense that people that were there were very, very excited and hopeful for the future. So for me, that's what Hawaii was for us this year. Besides all the other nice things, the food and the weather and everything, it was just that sense that this is our moment. This is the moment for Mannatech to really step up onto the stage, into the world stage, as the company, truly the company of legacy, the company, you know, of that is going to accomplish what it was meant to accomplish. And we feel like we're living those moments as we speak.
Fantastic, Al. And are you at liberty? I'm not sure what's happening with the comp plan changes. Is that something that you wanted to touch on?
Yeah, well, I think what we shared with the team in Hawaii is what we're calling, you know, Mannatech 2.0. I do believe that there will be some meetings. I think the meetings have already been set up for next week to speak to everyone about some of these, I would call them enhancement, because again, it's not like you know, the plan is not changing. It's really part of a process. Whenever you have you bring on a new comp plan, you got to give it a bit of time to settle, and then you can make the adjustments that you feel are going to be most appropriate. Especially in this case for me, for the more for the leaders that have been around a little longer, people that have a little larger organization. For the new people, the new comp plan is great because they start fresh and they can just maximize it from day one. But for people that have been around and built in a certain way, we believe that this new comp plan, the new compression, and the things that we're putting in place will really be beneficial for the people that have been around a little longer. And that's what we're excited about it, because obviously those are the people that we want to make sure are benefiting and maximizing the opportunity, the financial opportunity of Mannatech. And we believe that this will do that. But I think I will leave it for next week. I think there's a call set up by David Wood and Kevin Robbins. I think they actually gave me a time. I think it's probably next Tuesday our evening, which is your Wednesday morning, something like that. Don't quote me on it. You'll be communicated to. I know they already shared it with the corporate team, the Australasia corporate team, but they're about to share it also with all the leaders. And I think you will feel just like the folks in Hawaii felt, as the company has gone really through great lengths to make sure that we're really enhancing the plan in favor of those people that have built for a long time and built large organizations.
Fantastic. And, you know, this call, I started talking about 2018, but I think it's really appropriate for people making long-term commitments to Mannatech. You know, what's our commitment? You know, you've alluded to the energy drink and the Mannatech. What's our commitment in international expansion and product development over the next 5 years?
Well, I think we do believe that our sweet spot is still glyconutrients. We are the leaders, the world's pioneer. We believe that we have such a strong differentiation in glyconutrients, and we believe that we need to be able to tell that story even stronger. So for me, my excitement around this new and the new Ambertos product is not just the product itself and what we bring to it as new technologies have evolved, as new ingredients have come in that we feel can be of great benefit to folks, but it's the fact that it's going to help us craft a new story. But it really isn't new. It's just a new way to tell the old story, because you know how compelling the old story was. That's how we became a $450 million business almost without even trying, is because we had such a compelling story. Well, for a lot of reasons that you know about, we can't tell the story that way, but there is probably another way that we can tell the story and really dig deeper into each element of Ambertos and tell the whole story. Instead of just, we've told the Manopole story, we've told the Mano story, which is a great story, but have we told the story of the fucose or the arabinogalactans and all the other elements that are existing today in Ambertos? So what if we could tell a bigger story around those elements? And then we also have some new element of that story, which is the citrospectin, modified citrospectin, the allopectin, the pectin story. And I'm just going to say pectin. You go and Google it, modified citrospectin, allopectin, and all of a sudden, boom, there's a whole other story that emerges from that, but it's all now in one product. So, and that is going to be, and we're going to be hearing it almost for a whole day. The whole day will be dedicated to having different members of our global scientific advisory board and Dr. Nugent telling the different pieces of that story so that you are better armed and better, well, first of all, before we arm you with the story, that you feel even more conviction yourself that this product is everything that we've always said it was, but then giving you some other angles on how to tell the story. So that's one thing that I think is going to be really critical for me in this strengthening that glyconutrient umbrella, right? That's sitting on top of everything else that we do, right? Everything else is connected to that umbrella. So whether it's just general nutrition or fat loss or skincare or energy, whatever, everything is connected back to that larger umbrella, which is really our differentiation in the marketplace. But imagine now if we could make it easy to share. Right? Imagine if now it came in a stick instead of just a jar. Imagine if it tastes good, right? So now we can, well, now we can massify. Not only we can tell the story better, but we have a better way to make it to give it mass appeal. Instead of being a niche market of highly educated pseudoscientists, right? Now we can enlarge it to a much wider population, because I believe 7.4 billion people on Earth need this product every day in their mouth, period. Does that make sense?
I agree. Yeah.
Every single human being and animals should be taking Ambertos if they could afford it. So for me, massifying the appeal is really one of our big strategies for 2018. And I think it will manifest itself through the way that we're bringing this new Ambertos product to the marketplace.
Fantastic. And Al, the new Global Scientific Advisory Board, how instrumental were they in helping develop this new approach to Ambertos?
Very instrumental, very instrumental. Some of those doctors, some of them actually have been involved with some of the prior Ambertos studies. So they're very, very familiar with the product. They've seen all the other, they know all the other pieces. I mean, they know what fucose does. They know what mannose does. They know what, now we even have a doctor who's a Chinese doctor at one of the universities here in Texas, who was the original person with Dr. Bill McAnally, and his specialty, 25-year specialty, was about pectins.
Wow.
A story that we missed completely, Sharon, completely, because we were so focused on mannose, which is obviously, we know the value of that. We missed that other side of the story, just as powerful a story. So we're bringing that stuff out to the forefront. So we're creating massive value, perceived value in the eyes of the consumer. So that way they can, so they feel not only the urge and the conviction to take this product every day, but it's going to be done in such a way that we also eliminate some of the other barriers, like the taste barrier and maybe the convenience barrier. So we're making it for the masses now.
Oh, fantastic. It's so good to hear that we're building on our gem that we have on ambertoast, and for people to feel really confident that there's now, the best minds in various industries taking a look at ambertoast and been involved in taking it to this next level.
Yes, absolutely. And I think it will be very, very evident when you listen almost for the whole day to 6 or 7 or 8 scientists, renowned scientists from around the world, talking about this one product. So in the past, if we've gone too fast and we brushed over maybe the story, I mean, we're going deep with this story. We are absolutely going back to our roots and to what really makes us different from anybody else in the industry of nutrition, in the industry of direct selling. We have something of great value for humanity. And we want this best kept secret to not be such a secret anymore. We want it to be something that the whole world stands up and takes attention to what's coming. Fantastic.
And for people new to our company, how unique is it to have the standard of science, like the Global Scientific Advisory Board, to our company in our industry?
Well, our industry is really known for being about opportunity. I spent 28 years, my first 28 years in this industry was about selling the dream, and which there's nothing wrong with the dream, but the dream has to be anchored in a true transfer of value between you and the consumer. Because at the end of the day, there is no residual income if there's not a residual customer. There's no residual customer unless there's a fair exchange of value. You give them something they need and want, and they give you the money that equates to that value. If there's not that kind of a really balanced transfer, all it is hype. All it is just building up on a dream, but eventually that fizzles out. That's why if our company has ever taken a black eye a few times, is because there's too many people that have gone out there and all they wanted to talk about was the financial rewards, but they didn't go back to the very fundamental element of wealth creation, which is a transfer of value. You gotta give value to the end consumer. You gotta give him something that once he's on it, he's gonna stay on it for the rest of his life. For me, that's what a residual consumer is. So the more residual consumers I have, the more I can really expect a residual income from residual consumers. If I don't have residual consumers, it's just an impossible dream. It's a myth. It's a fiction. It doesn't work. It doesn't last. If we are in here because we're trying to create a multi-generational wealth, where we're going to create a financial legacy for our children and our grandchildren, it's got to be on the basis of true value. And it's got to be on the basis of having products that are efficacious, that are safe, and that bring something new to the marketplace. That's why social selling is such a big deal, because it's about it's about information sharing more than it even is about the product. we're bringing people to a new paradigm of wellness understanding through the stories, through the products that we bring to the marketplace, and through this information sharing, then it leads to to this value transfer, and that creates wealth, and that's wealth that's going to last a long time, Sharon. Otherwise, it doesn't last. And the number one promise of our industry, which is work for a few years and build yourself this ongoing residual income, create an asset, that will create this ongoing residual income, that will never happen. Mannatech is positioned absolutely, fantastic way to really be able to make that promise a reality.
That's amazing. If people really could understand Ambertos, they'd never go a day with themselves. I never let my kids go a day without it. Everybody, your elderly people, everybody, every single person, like you said, the whole planet.
Everybody.
I'm glad we're going to do a better job at that.
Well, I'm hoping that we're going to arm you guys with quite a bit of information, and also give you an ease of entry to the marketplace by removing, like I said, the barrier of taste, maybe the barrier of convenience. What if we could take care of all that? What would that do to our Ambertos sales around the world?
I'm excited. I know this is always the dreaded question, is there a global timeline for launch?
Yeah, well, we will launch exclusively at Manifest, followed within, in some countries within 4 to 8 weeks, some other countries in a couple of months. The idea is this is one of those global launches. This is the product that we feel will eventually replace, both both other Ambertos, which will still be available, by the way. We're not taking anything away from those who love, Ambertos Classic or Ambertos Advanced. But I believe that once we have people on this, it won't be long before we cannibalize our own sales and end up with really D1 Ambertos that would work for everybody. A much higher level of manos than anything else we've got in the marketplace right now. So we're really capitalizing on our number one key ingredient, making sure that we got ample dosage of that, and obviously all the other things that we're adding to it without really affecting the price much. So pretty much at the same price value, you'll be able to get that, what you got before and more, a whole lot more.
Fantastic. And any international expansion for this year or coming years?
One of the things that we shared with everyone is this idea of global e-commerce, global cross-border e-commerce. We are testing that in Europe in the next couple of months. Making that a success will allow us to now be thinking in terms of a more rapid expansion plan. So at this point, once that concept works, then we could easily go from 26 countries to 50 countries to 100 countries, because the global cross-border e-commerce that Amazon and Alibaba has really made so popular and so accepted around the world is a concept that companies like us can also use in order to be able to create a much more rapid expansion possibility. So yeah, we're very excited about that.
That's very exciting, because then I know there's always people that we love in countries that it's just not available in, and that would assist people in sharing the word in a much better way.
Well, look, I spoke to some of the key elements that I believe makes our channel of distribution even more relevant today than it was 30 years ago. But one of it obviously is demographics, especially the advancement of the middle class in the world. 2 billion more people will be added to the middle class over the next 10 to 15 years. That's huge, Sharon. That's almost 1/3 of today's population reaching the level of middle class, which is the perfect sweet spot customer group for us. But outside of just demographics, globalization is driving everything. And that's why we're watching companies like Alibaba and Amazon. I mean, Alibaba on November 11, 2017, did literally $20 billion in sales in one day.
Wow. That's infrastructure and distribution.
But also that means there's a new mindset. There's a shift in consumers going away from the traditional store, a retail environment into a social mobile, global environment. So for me, we are in that sweet spot, and we are affording everyone an opportunity to participate in this new social mobile global world that we're going into. I talk a lot about the demise of retail, which is interesting to watch how either retail is going to morph into more of an omni-channel type of thing, or they're going to die. They're dying, all over the world, and unless they can adapt. But we coming in, we're mastering this concept of peer-to-peer, which is the new way of going. This is, you trust more the recommendation of a friend or even a stranger than you do mass media, television, newspapers, and that type of thing. So we have 100 years of experience as an industry of perfecting social selling. We were the original social selling model. We called it direct sales, but all direct sales is social selling because it's peer-to-peer, P2P. And while for many, many, many years it was frowned on or even ridiculed, today it's becoming now mainstream and it's leveraged by technology so that not only you're peer-to-peer locally, but you're peer-to-peer globally. You can be peer-to-peer with people you don't even know. So this type of access to a global market is huge. And that's a platform that we're giving people for a few $100s to come in and set up, a global, a social global network, right? And not have to worry about logistics, about payments, about banking, about none of that. All you have to do is be yourself, be your best brand, be attractive, provide value to people as a person, so then you can also provide them value with a product. So perfect. That's just the most perfect situation. And it's why the U economy is exploding. It's everyone now is you incorporated, you as a big business, because you have the tools of business that only belong to the biggest businesses in the world. And today it's in your hands for a few $100s. Now you can take selfies or you can create a global empire. Your choice.
It's a great invitation. And Al,
right?
how important is our opportunity at this day and age for the planet?
Well, I believe that now that we have incorporated, our new comp plan was really about creating a much more compelling, a much more attractive proposition financially, a simpler proposition, a proposition people could actually understand, and one that you can easily see yourself work through the different levels of it, right? Look, there's always going to be controversy around a comp plan because obviously you have to be able to serve the people that are already in the plan, while at the same time you're creating something that's going to be attractive for the people you want to bring in. It's an art and a science and a dance that you have to dance to figure all that out. But I do believe at this point, and how do I know that, is because as we go out to the general public, as we go out especially to leaders of other companies in the industry, when they look at our comp plan, it's like, I can understand it. there is money in it. You can see the money, and you can see your trajectory. You can see how you can move through the steps in a way that makes sense. Yeah. We have taken the top off of it. We have enlarged the bottom of it. We've doubled the numbers of people that are making money from the plan. We have taken the top of the plan. We're paying out 2 or 3 times what we used to pay before at some of those levels. So now it's a matter of continuing to accommodate the people that are already in, while really going out there and sharing it with new people, because now you actually know what to talk about when you talk about the comp plan. Mm-hmm. It's not just a black box where you just get in, put some effort, and hopefully something comes out on the other side. There is true predictability to our plan now, and it's amazing. After now 5 months of watching the numbers every month, when your volume grows, your income grows. When your rank grows, your income grows. When your volume goes down, your income goes down. So there is a do something, right? It's a do something. And the more you do, the more you get. So again, I mean, it's been fascinating to us to be able to watch this high predictability that exists in our plan today, which unfortunately I can't say was there before. So anyways, I mean, I do understand that it's going to be, not everybody shares the exuberance about the plan as I do, but we see it from another angle. And for me, the angle of being predictable is very important. If I do this, I get that. When you can build that into your plan and people can clearly see what that is, I think eventually it becomes a very attractive way to get there. So to answer your question, when you have the right comp plan, when you have the right focus, the right product lines, you have the right offer to a public, and you're filling in on a need that truly exists in the marketplace, I believe we have an unlimited opportunity. And I'm really excited about it. And I certainly want to take it from 26 countries to 100 countries as fast as we can.
And for people new to understanding our profession, with the predicted destabilization of the job market, how important is it that we are proud to share the message of our opportunity?
Well, I think that's a great question, Sharon. Really, really. I mean, it's the crux of, if you had this crystal ball, you could look into the future, you could almost get very, very despondent and very depressed when you think that 2 billion jobs will disappear over the next 30 years, that robots will start doing what human beings used to do, where artificial intelligence will be far superior to human intelligence, and the ability for machines to learn and to be able to be used in areas like law, medicine, finance, banking, and so on. You could almost get a little depressed. But this is the other side of that coin. The same futurists that are predicting, the loss of 2 billion jobs are also predicting the greatest era of wealth creation mankind has ever experienced. So how does that work? Well, very easy. And you know it, and I know it. Anybody that's been in the position of talking to people about shifting from employee mindset to entrepreneur mindset, business mindset, knows that you create more value in the world when you are in the entrepreneur mindset than when you are the employee mindset. So now some people are going to have to be shoved into it. They're going to have to be pushed from one to the other. They're going to have to do it as a last resort, only to find out that truly it's where they're going to maximize their God-given potential. So for me, I have no problem understanding why there's going to be the greatest amount of wealth creation over the next 30 years, because you're going to see this migration of employees to entrepreneur. You're going to see this whole U economy, gig economy, part-time economy, whatever they call it, right? you're going to see just an explosion of that as Uber, Etsy, and so many other type of economy models have demonstrated to us. There's 1 million people out there who don't mind driving their own car as a taxi to make a living, right?
Yeah.
On purpose, on choice. Why? Because they like the lifestyle of being in control of their time, how they make their money, who they associate with, where, yeah. And that's that's been our proposition all this whole time. For 25 years, we've been saying to people, live and work on your own terms. This is a bona fide opportunity to live and work on your own terms. Create wealth on your own terms. Don't be limited by geography. Don't be limited by your education. Don't be limited by your social contacts. Don't be limited by your color, your gender, your religion, or anything else. If you want it, if you're willing to dream big enough, you can achieve it. Period. Okay? We've been saying this for 25 years. This is not a new story for us. It's just that we're going to now collide with this massive movement of employee to entrepreneur, maybe forced by technology and everything else, but who cares why it happened? It's happening, and we're there. So it's really that congruence, that coming together, these two things just meeting. That's where I think opportunity exists, right? Is when you can be ahead of where things are going. Well, we already know where things are going. So let's get off our bums and go meet it, because it's coming. And if you don't go meet it, guess what? You'll be there going, oh, it just passed me by. Darn. I missed the boat. I missed the train. Well, on January 19, 2018, I told you so. So if you miss it, then shame on you. You knew it was going to happen. You just didn't do nothing to address it, okay? I'm just talking to you. I can see you. You can see me, okay? So I said it right here.
And Al, we're very blessed to have you, a consummate leader in the field, leading our corporate team. If you put your field leader back on, what do you recommend? What's your call to action for people who are inspired by this, making this commitment to Mannatech, their best year and their best next 5 years?
It all starts with an intention. My good friend Brian Clemmer used to say, when intentions are clear, mechanisms appear. If you could just decide right now, if you would give yourself the permission right now to imagine a different 2018 than 2017, something you could truly get excited about, get on board with yourself. This is not about Mannatech. This is not about your upline. This is not about your downline. Some people are going to consult their downline first before they decide what they're going to decide. Wrong. You decide what your 2018, 2019, 2020 is going to look like. Create that intention. Take some time to put it in writing. Describe the future that you want in vivid words and colors. Create the future that you want. Put it in pictures around you. Surround yourself with your future. Because Sharon, if I walked into most people's home, I'm bound to see their past more than I'm going to see their future. They have pictures of their past, but do they have a picture of their future? So create a picture of your future and believe it. Choose to believe it. Put that intention out there. Don't try to overthink how it's going to happen before you put it. What do you really want? Because once you have defined it, and the more precise you are in defining it, the more likely those mechanisms will appear. When your intentions are clear, clarity brings execution. which then brings results. What do you want? The homework is very simple. What do you really want? That's step number one. Step number two is find someone, preferably in your upline, with whom you can sit down and say, look, I want to create a plan to create this future. Now, some of you probably know enough to make the plan. Some of you might need to sit down with someone, because there's something magical happens when 1 + 1 becomes 1,000. Okay? 1 + 1 is not 2, because the power of unity takes 1 + 1, makes it 100. It's called masterminding. It's called brainstorming, masterminding with somebody else. And if you don't have somebody upline, find somebody cross-line. Somebody you trust, somebody that has your best intention, your best in mind for you. Sit down with them, construct a plan, simple plan. It might be as simple as, this month, I'm going to talk to 20 people about Mannatech. Now, of course, before you can talk to 20, you may have to make a list of 40 or 100. You might have to go to your cell phone. You might have to go to your Facebook. You might have to go somewhere. But if you were to talk to 20 people, do you think you might have 5 of them that, at minimum, 5 of them will buy something from you? And then out of that 20, do you think there might be 2 or 3 that might be interested in what you're doing? The fact is, people today are looking. It's no longer a myth that, there's people out there praying for something like this to come into their lives. But when it shows up, they don't always recognize it. But for your own ability to transmit that message with a lot of conviction, a lot of power, a lot of fun, a lot of belief. But if you show this Mannatech to 20 people, 5 to 10 of them will buy something from you. We call them customers. And 2 or 3 will be interested in doing it with you. As simple as that, just to get started. That's month number 1. And then you're going to teach, out of those 2 or 3 people, ABC, you're going to teach them how to do exactly the same thing. Go talk to 20 people. 5 to 10 will want to buy something. 2 to 3 are going to do it with you. And then go show those people to do the same. I know I'm probably oversimplifying it, but that's how simple I see it in my head when I put my associate hat on.
So who should be seeing you at the National Convention in 2 weeks?
Wow. That's a loaded question. Everybody. Everybody should be there. Look, you shouldn't be there because I'm going to be there. You should be there because all of you are going to be there. Folks, iron sharpens iron. For sure, I'm going to have a whole lot of information, the same information I shared with the presidentials in Hawaii. The next group that's going to actually see that information is going to be the folks in Australasia. So you'll be the second to see all and get the vision of what's going on. You're going to hear about the new products. You're going to hear about Manifest and everything else that's going on. But more than that, you're going to catch something from that environment. You're going to catch something from each one of the people that are here. There's 32 people on this call. That's a pretty amazing thing that you've done here, Sharon. And imagine when that 32 people is 100 or 200 or 300 people. Folks, there's something you capture from there. Every big decisions I've ever made in my life was done at a major function. The day that click happened between my 2 ears, I said, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. It happened at 12:30 midnight on a Friday night in Virginia Beach, Virginia, sitting way up there among 15,000 other people, listening to speakers, and I remember the speech. It was something about promises to keep. Somehow, at 12:30 past midnight on a Friday night, that click happened, and I've never looked back. Those of you who are trying to build long-term businesses, will you get enough people in that room so that click happens and they decide, I am doing this for the rest of my life? Because when those people decide to do this for the rest of their lives, it means your business is going to last for the rest of their lives. So not only it's your place to get your click, it's also the place for you to bring your team to get the click. That's the power of an event, especially an event like what we're going to live through the next couple of weeks.
So you've given us a full hour, Al. What's in your heart to leave people with today?
Hope, lots of hope. If you only knew what I know, if you could only see things the way I see it, if you've been in that room with those 12, 15 CEOs from the top companies in our industry, if you had been in Hawaii, all those things have just happened just in the last few weeks, is the hope of what is to come. Our industry, after 100 years, we're just getting started. Mannatech, after 25 years, we're just getting started. The best is yet to come. We've never been more relevant as an industry, as a company, as we are right now. So if you think the best is behind us, you're wrong. The best is still ahead of us, and it's going to be amazing. And I just hope that we take every one of you in this amazing journey with us. And it starts in 2 weeks at the convention, Australasia. I'll be there. I hope you're all going to be there as well, and bring as many people as you can.
Al, God bless you. Thank you so much.
Well,
sadly, they can't speak to you directly, but they're typing to you. We're very appreciative of your time. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you very much as well, Sharon. Thank you for what you do. I mean, 32 people on this call, on a Zoom call, and now I can see faces and everything else. It's exciting. We got so many things to look forward to, so thank you very much.
Okay.
We appreciate
See you in a fortnight.
Love you too. Yeah, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for being here.